Good man.
Yo.
Immediately look up at the screen. Yo.
I'm still getting used to this, as you can tell.
Yeah, the budget is good.
The budget is good. How y'all doing today?
We switched up.
It's your boys, the Three Good Man.
Hey.
Today we got a special guest. It's my boy, Juice, a.k.a. Hugo Sanchez, a.k.a.
The Apple Guy.
a.k.a.
What's your Twitter name?
Twitter name? El Morro Callejero.
El Morro Callejero.
Hey.
That's a hush Twitter. That's not a tell the world Twitter. I'm trying to keep my shenanigans up there. So.
There you go. You know what?
Forget Twitter.
Forget Twitter.
Oh, you that heard it. Don't follow him.
Don't follow him right here. No.
How you guys doing today? How you doing today, bro?
Doing good, man. Just drove over from Seattle. Smoked a little bit.
Taking a good little drive.
You just came over from Seattle.
Literally like 20 minutes ago, maybe.
Hell yeah.
And showed up with some, what is this again?
Angry Orchards.
Ooh, we're drinking fancy today.
Peach mango.
So hard ciders. I didn't really feel like drinking beers, but I figured we should drink something. And since these guys wanted to talk about the Apple Guy adventure, I figured hard apple ciders was the way to go.
Hey,
yeah, makes sense.
It makes total. And then we're in Washington. You know?
And we all grew up in orchards?
Nah, neta. We all worked in the fucking orchard.
Literally all grew up in
Shit, have
orchards.
you?
No, not all.
You never worked in an
I never
orchard?
worked in an orchard.
Oh my god.
I was a restaurant Mexican.
I did.
What the fuck?
Not a lot, but I did work in an orchard.
Hey, but to be fair, my backyard was an orchard at the old house.
I know.
My front yard was an
We're
orchard.
gonna take you to work in an orchard. At least for a day. At
las cherries?
At least para que diga,
Hey,
no
the
way.
or something.
Actually, you know what? I never done cherries.
What?
I never done cherries. Eso sí.
Ni el empaque?
Ni el empaque. I never
What
worked
do
in
you
el
pick?
empaque.
Apples or pears?
Apples. Pears too. Pears too.
Both.
Yeah.
I hear pears are the heaviest.
Fucking, they suck. Yeah.
Yo pisqué cherry and desaje. Those are like the only two things that I did.
And what else?
Desaje. Thinning.
Oh, okay.
Thinning.
Oh,
Desaje.
Oh, see? Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're already getting into his life, and we haven't even
asked the question.
I know, we even didn't ask questions or nothing. We're just getting into it. But first,
Before we get distracted.
Again, like we always do, we got that raffle we gotta do.
For reals. If you guys saw the last episode, we had Kelsey and Armando Farias from Self Love Sit Downs, our 5 Love Languages episode. A lot of people like that shit. I thought it was a good episode.
Oh yeah, yeah. And right before Valentine's, we dropped that. So hopefully some of y'all got it. Some. Did you benefit out of it?
I hope you benefited
out of it. You know,
Ladies, they're still single.
And yeah, we're
Santos
still
is still
single.
single?
Him too.
Yo también.
You still single, boy?
My situation's weird.
It's complicated.
It's complicated.
But
He's on the second love language right now.
es que todavía no termina de oír todo el
He
audio.
hasn't watched the whole episode.
Pero guacho, cuando termine, ya. Yeah, we did have them. They left some prices. So we're going to raffle this hat.
We got 3 prices, right?
Yeah, 3.
So we got the hat. We got the Kelsey. Okay, it says Self Love Starts With You, Kelsey Teddy Fitness t-shirt.
And the sweater, too.
And the crew neck. Crew neck is fire.
Yeah, this is fire. I'm still thinking if we should raffle this one. I might keep it.
You know what?
I think it fits.
It looks good on you,
Think
bro.
like it fits on?
I think it fits.
Yeah? It's like your favorite color.
Then
It's
I've been
black.
working out, so I just feel like it fits me. You know.
It's live now.
You know.
It's a lifestyle.
But we got 4 people commented on the video.
Shout out to all 4 of y'all.
Shout outs to the 4 people that
Shout out to
commented.
C19 who commented like 6 times.
Yeah, actually, C19 commented like 6 times.
I hope he
Shout
wins.
outs to you, but I can only put you in there one time, bro. It doesn't count by each fucking comment, all right?
Yeah.
You know?
But keep commenting multiple times.
But keep doing that.
Can I comment right now?
No, you're too late already.
Shit.
It's too late already. You're actually gonna pick the winner, so you know you can't be part of this anymore. You're out of it pretty much.
It's a conflict of interest.
Yeah,
That's fair.
but this how we're gonna do it.
Oh, whoa! I just
One
saw
of
one
them got
fly
out.
out. Recount that.
This how we're gonna do this.
This feels like an election.
So the first pick gets what?
The
hat?
The hat.
Okay, first pick. The first one he gets, it's gonna hit the hat. Okay.
Is there a drum roll? Is there sound effect or
we'll
something?
put it on the.
It's in post production.
Benji Stacks.
Benji Stacks.
Hey,
Hey.
Benji Stacks, you won this hat, homeboy.
There you go.
Hey. Okay, we're gonna keep using your hand.
We'll clean it before we send it.
Yeah, well, sure.
Sure.
All right, now it's the hat. The shirt.
Now it's the shirt.
Second place, the shirt.
Second place, the shirt.
Drum roll effect again.
Drum roll effect. Insert here.
Villeros won.
Villeros won. Okay.
Hey, the homie Villeros won.
Hey, shout out to you. You get the
shout out to
shirt.
the homie too. You know.
Hope it fits.
2 more people. Oh, I fit. I've been seeing that homie. The homie's been working out. I've been
There you go.
getting
There
it
you
in.
go.
He's been watching your videos. Or?
Yeah. No, he's been working out. I said.
Órale.
Last person. Let's see.
What did this
Oh, the
person
last
win?
person wins this.
What's this person winning?
The crew neck.
The crew neck. What are
Okay.
you getting?
Drum roll effect. That doesn't sound like a drum roll, Juan. What are you doing over there for, man?
Santos 509.
Shut the
What?
hell yes!
Oh, C19.
C19. Hey, shout out to you, bro.
Hey, hell yeah, homie.
I'm
Hey.
glad you won.
Yeah, for real.
There
He's
you
he's
go.
been commenting hella, so I'm glad you won, homie.
I
Hey.
think I know who it is, and I hope it fits him.
Yeah, for real. Nah, it will.
Hey, but
And if it doesn't weigh, I got you. You know, you guys give it to me.
yeah, I was gonna say check in because this dude's about to keep it.
Hell yeah. Hey,
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab it right now.
I appreciate everybody that comment. Thank you very much.
This could have been you.
For real.
Yeah,
For those that didn't comment, could have been your prices.
Hey, we got prizes for the next episode too,
So we
right?
do. The homie right here. Well, actually, let's talk about him first,
Okay, yeah, bet.
and then we'll do this.
Oh, I wanted to bring him up before we start eating them because they're so good.
Y'all already finished that
think
first bag.
We already ate 1 bag actually.
So it's gonna be one less
So
prize.
yeah, I was gonna say it's only 2 winners for the next one. Porque ya valió madre. I mean, I just wanted to talk to you about how do you feel about growing up in a small town, being a Chicano, being from Mexican parents, the way we grew up, school system, the struggles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me see.
Or
Where were you born?
I was actually born in Wenatchee.
Oh, okay.
My situation, I think my parents had been in the U.S. for 2 years, and then I was born in Wenatchee, and I'm not sure cómo estuvo la historia, but I got sick at a few days into me being born.
Oh shit.
And so at 40 days old, we went to Mexico for the first time, and so a lot of part of my youth was actually spent going back and forth. So until I was 14 years old, every single year, we went down there. Sometimes spending a month there, sometimes spending 3 or 4 months at a time. My parents were building a house, and I think initially the idea was to build a home there, save some money, move back, and then keep making moves,
Gotcha,
but
okay.
over there
In Mexico.
in Mexico.
And you said till 14?
After that, I still kept going to Mexico, but I had to pay for my own tickets.
Because now you're old enough to, right?
Because now you're old enough to pay for your own tickets. So I wasn't going every year anymore.
Okay.
I was still going, but I'd skip a year here and there, or I'd skip a couple of years, or the grades weren't good, so
of course.
the parents weren't paying for the flights.
When you would go to Mexico, was that during summer vacation, or was that during did you go to school down there too, or?
I think for the most part it was over the winter. I do remember going to school in 2 different instances though. I want to say it was 2nd and 3rd grade.
Okay.
But it was only for a few months at a time. I remember I have these memories of being in el recreo, being out at recess, and me being one of a couple of kids that didn't have the uniforms, and everybody else had them.
Right.
But it was and I was singled out because of it. But it was okay because I was only gonna be there for a little while, so I would get away with not having to have the uniform. But I have these very distinct memories of me running around in the fucking recess.
In regular clothes?
Being the kid in regular clothes when everybody else was wearing a uniform.
That's very hard in Mexico. They make you wear the uniforms, huh?
Yes.
Is that everywhere in Mexico?
I think.
I don't know if it still is, but it definitely was everywhere.
When I was in Mexico, I had a uniform too.
I went to kindergarten there, and I think a little bit of 1st grade, because I came to the U.S. I was born in Oaxaca. I came to the U.S. when I was 5 in August. So I think I for sure did kindergarten. I think a little bit of 1st grade maybe. So I do remember a uniform. I don't remember what it is. There wasn't a lot of pictures back then, you know.
Right.
But I do remember, like, I was in this little festival shit, and I had the all white with the little red handkerchief or whatever and shit, and it looked a little cool, like at 4 years old. I don't know what the hell it was for, but those are the only memories I have of Mexico, you know.
Yeah, I mean, Oaxaca has a lot of tradiciones too that like that require different like vestuarios and shit. So it's like more commonly that's probably like what it was, you know.
Yeah.
Part of.
You eat grasshoppers, Goo?
I've never had a grasshopper.
I
Actually, yeah.
Bro, I brought some mora from Oaxaca, but I should if I would have remembered, I would have just brought you some.
Yeah.
I like the little fucking grillos or whatever the fuck they're called.
They're salted,
Crickets?
right?
Yeah, they're salted.
Yeah,
Tienen
they're
chile.
salted.
Tienen chile.
They're bomb as fuck.
I had them before. It's weird just knowing what they are, but it's like if you don't
know,
think about it,
if
it's
you
a
know,
snack.
you know.
So that's kind of cool that you spend time in Mexico and in the U.S. So I'm sure while you were the older you got, could you kind of see the differences?
Yeah, I mean for sure. Like it was. I think, especially because my parents were still like very young when they moved here. Like there was very distinct differences to where the life that we were living in Mexico to the life that I was in the U.S. Just like being like the kid of like young parents and being the kid of an immigrant. It's like the comfort of being home and with family and Mexico of just like belonging, right? Because like my parents son de ahí, they're from that town, as are their parents, or as are like our uncles and aunts, and like
So they're known.
They're not only are they known, like they belong there,
Right. Okay.
right? Like it's a sense of like this is home and I belong here, and like this is where my roots are, and there's like an interweb of like of community there, whereas in the U.S. I think, and I'd like to say that I could speak on my dad's and my mom's behalf, but mine as well, where the space here wasn't quite as welcoming, right? And so like at the end of each year, I think there was always that goal to go home at least for a little while to feel that home and that welcomeness that I think doesn't necessarily exist here. I mean, and not to say that, right? It didn't happen to be there. There's like generations of work that were done, you know, to create the community that exists there. Yeah.
And that's a part of being welcome, right? Like it's like you said, generational. It wasn't just like you guys just moved there. Just like aquí, you know, like did you guys have family up here when you moved up here? Like how did you guys end up like where are you guys from Mexico, your family?
Michoacan.
Shout out Michoacan. There you go, shout out to Michoacan. Oaxaca forever. So why Chelan or why Wenatchee from Michoacan?
The way that my dad tells the story, he was in California for a little bit, and then I think one of my dad's cousins or his older brother, I can't remember, ended up in Chelan, and like there was work there. Había trabajo. The situation where I grew up at, Cascade Foothills. Shout out Cascade Foothills. La Bandera. As La Bandera, as it's better known.
For real.
The way that my dad and my uncles tell the story, there was the owner of the guy there. His name was Dan Heineke, and he actually treated people like humans, right? They didn't have to pay rent. They didn't have to pay like necessarily like utility bills or anything like that, because my dad and my uncles and like other family members were pretty much on site like 24/7. Like they still metían sus horas, you know, like they put their hours in, but they were on site 24/7. The owner of the space like was allowed for like a building of like a community there, right? Okay. And so I think because that was happening, it allowed for like my dad and my uncles and like other people that were at that supervisor level to pull up other people that they knew and always have like an opportunity for work.
Oh yeah.
At that rancho specifically. My dad tells stories about like how that orchard being well known for like paying people well, and giving housing,
And treating people
and,
right.
and treating people right.
Which is important.
Giving out loans, like hasta pal coyote,
Oh,
you know
damn.
what I'm saying, to
shit.
bring people up.
Shout out to El Coyote.
Shout out to El Coyote,
For
bringing
real.
people up.
For real.
Fuck the borders, fuck la migra, all that shit.
Vida.
They tell stories about like that guy, Dan Heineke. That his name still like rings in my head the way that my dad tells the stories about
Damn, you're welcome to the carne asada.
him providing these opportunities in these like loans to people and like these housings, because like the house that I grew up in until I was 14, my parents never had to pay rent there, so we lived in an area where it's like literally the whole rancho was like at one point like family. It was like my aunts and my uncles. And like everybody was there, and there's still some people there. You know what I'm saying? Like I still have some uncles there, but at one point I think when I was around like 14, they sold the rancho from like an individual owner to like a large company. I think the first one they got sold to was Dobex.
Oh, okay.
And so Dobex bought it, and basically when they sold it to Dobex, a lot of the management started changing, a lot of the rules started changing. It was like they didn't want people to live there if they weren't, if you or your spouse wasn't working in the orchard. It turned really from like a small orchard to like really corporate-y. And so a lot of people either left on their own, like knowing that it was gonna be like it wasn't gonna be good business, or getting pushed out, right? Of like, yo, you physically can't live here anymore. I had that happen to one of my aunts who wasn't married, who lived with one of my uncles that worked there, and basically they hit on like, since you're not working here, like you have to leave, right? And so it's that's really when we like left, or like when people started more actively like leaving and being like, okay, this isn't for us anymore. And so like my dad and a couple of my uncles left at the time. They started buying like properties and stuff off of La Huerta, so like kind of doing their own thing. But at that point, everybody'd been here 10, 15 years.
So they were in good position to
they
do
were
so.
They were in a good position to do so, right? Like my parents opened up a store. At this point, I got another aunt with a store. Tengo otra tía that has like a whole garden that they grow and sell stuff at farmers markets that goes really well. Actually, we've been incredibly fortunate to have a lot of role models in the family of like of being hustlers. You know what I'm saying? Of like figuring it out. Of like,
do you think
gente que le chinga?
Do you think, not to like champion what they did, but do you think because of what happened, it forced people to do that? You know, to go hustle, to go get property, get their own land?
What do you mean?
Like, after they started forcing people out, do you think that kind of motivated people to be like, hey, let me go get my own spot, let me go get my own store, so this doesn't happen to me again? For sure.
I think there was a handful of folks that I think got in on that early, and already had that kind of step in mind, like already looking forward. Okay. And then I think when that happened, I think there was another like little wave of like, okay, we got to make moves right now.
Right.
And I think even now, as the things continue to change, like there's people not just in the family but other folks that I know that are like, okay, like we have to make a move. I think unfortunately, like the way that like the valley is changing, I think in a lot of cases it's getting a little harder, and it's sometimes feels like it's like too little too late, you know? Yeah, so like you're asking about like growing up in Chelan thing, and like I think that's a big part of it too, right? I think it's like there's been so many changes in that valley that I think,
because it's a tourist spot more than anything, right? It like agricultural, but it's touristy.
I think so like Chelan has that, but I think what I was getting at was I think the experience that we had was for such a short amount of time that like with the town changing as quickly as it was and is, like that experience that like I think like we had at the time that we had it, I feel like has completely changed, right? Because it's like Chelan is not what it was when we were growing up.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So like as like a young, like,
I don't feel like nowhere. I feel like just everywhere you go, it's not the same anymore, bro. I mean, I don't know about here, but like, do you still see kids doing the shit that you guys were doing when you were young?
Oh, no.
You know what I mean?
No,
we're about to have a back in the day moment.
Technology, and it's also like, it touches on a lot of that. Like, I grew up in Leavenworth, you know, and you know, the mismo thing, like when we first came here, it was 17, 18 of us in like a 2-bedroom trailer, 3-bedroom trailer. Like me, my parents, my 2 sisters, 5 of us, we slept on a queen size bed in the dining room with sheets up. Like that was our room, you know. And like I remember that to this day. That's why it's also a mental thing. Like I always got to get at least a queen size bed. You know, just 'cause it's like,
you can fit 5 people on there. If
yeah,
you need to.
exactly. You know, and then
It's been tested.
And every time that I see sheets, like I always think about that shit. I watched a movie the other day with my mom, sidetracking a little bit, pero también they were throwing. It was a TV show, and la abuelita had her own little room and threw a sheet. And as soon as that sound, it just brought me back. And I saw my mom just kind of like, le dije, because it was my sisters were there too, and I was like, hey, you remember our room in the dining room? She's like, eso es lo que me acordé. And I was like, yeah. So it's funny how those are key memories because se te pegan, you know. But like, yeah, I mean, going back to that, it's different back then. Growing up, being outside, actually riding bikes, playing, and I mean that's because there was no technology back then, you know.
So listen to like my perspective real quick as far as like not even the technology side of it, right? So like when we were young, it was like a first generation of like our parents coming here as immigrants, right? Like there was not a generation above them of like our abuelitos weren't out here as like the first that first wave, right? So like really our parents
were the ones that kind of brought our grandpas over here.
Yeah, for sure.
That's how it happened with my parents.
Our parents and like that generation was really the big first wave of people that were out here, right? Like there was not like a Mexican community out here that existed before them, right? And so as our parents are migrating here, like they're building a community, but it's like it's getting so expensive in these areas that we were talking about that these Mexican communities, the way that like ours came, like are not showing up in the same way. Because it's like it's not affordable in the same way that it was, right? Like even in the way that the labor's set up, because like our parents came up here to work, right? Like now the workers are no longer these like young families that come up here and stay, right? Like everybody's coming up ya de contratados.
Yeah.
Like either you were already here and you have some sort of like layer or another like extra little route here, or you're coming as contratados, but they're not bringing their families. They're not bringing kids.
That's true.
They're no longer creating this like next layer of like community or family the way that our parents did. So it's like the experience that we had is like evolving and changing because of like the social shit that's happening around us. Like it just like that opportunity no longer exists.
That's true.
You know, and it's like so like yeah, I think it's important not only to like talk about but like document like that, you know, 10, 15 or 20 year gap or whatever that existed between like our parents, which were those first generation, and now that like those changes are no longer happening, and like who we are. And, I mean, I guess it's really what the conversation that we're having right now.
Yeah, and that definitely molded who we are. You know, like you said, you were blessed to have a lot of people that were hustling early on. They were your mentors. They were family members. So to you, not a nuevo to think that like that. You know.
And it's funny because like I think at the time I wasn't even thinking about it. I think it was just like my parents and my uncles and my aunts and my grandma, like shout out to las abuelitas, you know, like they were always making moves and hustling on the let's figure this shit out right now, right? Like we're gonna put this together, we're gonna figure it out. Doing tandas, putting on events at the church, fundraisers, like, you know, haciendo tamales, like aguas frescas, like
whatever,
you know, whatever it was. I remember when we lived in la huerta, my parents sold sodas and cervezas out of the fridge to the huerteros because there was no store like nearby, so like my parents would stock up at the house and just throw the fucking shit in the just para. Y llegaban por un 6, llegaban por un 12 de chelas, de sodas, whatever. You know?
That was the little corner store.
And that was like a little, that was like a little, you know what I'm saying? Like there wasn't like a huge inventory of shit, pero siempre había, and there was that like little hustle or that little flip, and I think I became numb to it because that's just what was happening in the background like all the time.
That's crazy though. That is crazy but our generation just kind of like. You think ya no va a haber Chicanos? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Because there's like, I mean, we come from Mexican parents, you know what I mean? So, like, ya no viene la gente pa acá a ser hijos anymore, you know what I mean? Like he says, like, they come down, they don't come down here to make families anymore.
And we kind of touched on it on the last episode when we were talking about the dramas, or, you know, like him never hearing that he was, like the dad never saying that he was proud and shit.
Yeah.
So I think it's evolving.
Oh, no, I
to
feel
a
we're
different
getting better.
community, in the sense of, like, now that it's that second or third generation, we're starting. First off, they're more educated, just for the opportunities that were granted. So we're starting to look into things, analyze things. It's like, why are things the way they are? The toxicity of our culture, you know, and all that other stuff. And in a sense, yeah, losing parts of it, but gaining other parts of other cultures that are for the better of the common good, in the sense
being more self-aware of who we are.
Yeah.
And I think it's like, even like backing up to that, like, you gotta really define what Chicano like means to you first and foremost, you know?
Yeah.
Like, do you just mean like it's the American born
Mexican
American born Mexicans?
Yeah.
Porque like there's still more of those, you know what I'm saying? But like I would argue that like their experience is very different to the experience that we had. I feel like there's a commonality in being a fucking kid of a huertero that was growing up in, like, you know, the fucking in the 90s and early 2000s, than like the experience that's happening now, and even in other parts of the country, right? Like this like manzana huertero te dan cabinas shit, like is a very like Central Washington, you know?
Maybe Northern Cali,
so
you
it's
know,
true
because it's true, because like Chicano to us is what we know, pero people like Chicanos in East LA weren't picking apples, you know. Not that I did, but
I was like, this guy wasn't picking apples either.
No, I got more to say.
That's
but it's a different experience. I feel like, well, let's start there. Like, what is Chicano to you guys? Or what is Chicano to you?
I feel like I had like an opportunity to like really like go into more detail in this in school when I finally went back to school. So like Chicano to me, like I understand it as like not only as like an ethnic identity, but also like a political identity, right? Like it's like, yes, you're like a kid that like a Mexican born or have like roots in being Mexicano, but also like being born here in the U.S., but to a level counteracting that like the Americanismo, this like Americanized thing, right? Mm-hmm. Like you're somehow like pushing back and saying like I'm not from here, like I got like you're showing me that I don't belong here, and I'm pushing back in whatever it is that like I feel like internally. And so it's a combination of like a feeling and ethnicity and like a political awareness, I think. And so like I understand it as like a combination of like all of those things.
Right, it's not just one thing.
Yeah, it's not just like I'm Mexican and born in America, you know, like
to me
it's different,
because I've ideally like what my official thing would be. I'm Mexican because I was born in Mexico, right? I wasn't born in the U.S., but I came here when I was 5. I don't know Mexico. I know the U.S., you know? So I identify more as Chicano, even though it's not my official thing. But the way I always looked at it, and I'll love this quote till I die.
Chicano's not a color?
Not even that, but more the Selena's dad in the movie, where it says, okay, we gotta be more American than Americans and more Mexican than the Mexicans. You know, it's like, no soy de aquí ni soy de allá.
Yeah.
You know, so you never feel, at least for me, I was like, if I go to Mexico, yo no voy a saber nada. Like, my fucking Spanish madres, you know?
Right.
I'm like, here, like, I get by and all that, but people look at me, they don't look at me as American. Nah. You know, they just look at me like, oh, this fool's Mexican, you know? Mm-hmm. Which it's cool, whatever, like, I know who I am.
Even if you did have papers and stupid.
Exactly. You know? they look at you like it's probably undocumented anyways, you know?
Yeah.
But so I always thought of it like that. It's like, you know, who I am. Like, I'm not no soy de allá ni soy de aquí, so I feel a certain way. Where like it probably is that politicalness of it. Like
it is. Like,
hey,
that's,
like
like
I
that's,
don't.
that's what it is.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna let you push me around here or there. You know, but I'm fucking here to stay. You're not gonna get rid of me, bro.
And there's pride there, right?
Yeah,
Like,
hella pride
there's
there.
hella pride in like in this, and I think especially that Chicano in which we grew up in from that era,
I
right?
feel like Chicano, you're always got your back against the wall.
Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, especially from the era that we came from, the fact that like our parents were just showing up, trying to figure shit out, and there was really nobody to have our backs in this like, American, it's the American society. So like we really had to have that sense of pride of like you said, like you're not gonna push me.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'm gonna hold my ground and show up in my full self.
Defensive in a way.
Absolutely. Like
Yeah.
there's like this
Gotta
prideful
figure out how to
defense.
move in uncharted territory by
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, I guess we didn't have like we're playing catch up.
Shit,
We're
tell me
playing
about
catch up.
When I got here, I didn't know no fucking English.
Yeah.
You know, like I had to play catch up at school. You know, and I remember showing up to school and
ESL?
motherfuckers making fun of me because I didn't know fucking English. You know,
I had
like,
Mexicans from here who knew
yeah,
English made fun of
Mexicans
me.
make fun of me.
Like what the fuck?
Yeah, fuck y'all.
Yeah.
No,
And
what's
I'll
his
make a
name?
li-
What's his name?
What's
Say it
his
to the
name?
camera. What's his
I don't
name?
remember his name.
Who was your bully? Who was
I
your
don't
bully?
even know
Say it
who
to
it
I
was.
don't even remember the girl's name, but it was that tall girl that used to go to school with us. You know who she is?
You
It was a
Tall
tall
girl.
girl. It was a
Mandy.
tall girl.
Cassie or Mandy?
No, it wasn't none of those.
neither.
Cassie or Mandy?
It was a Mexican girl.
Oh, Mexican girl.
It started with an R. I think it was like Rosario or
Rosario.
or
Rosana. No.
could have been Rosana.
Vina, right?
I don't remember.
I was like, you can't be
Renesas?
clowning on the newly Mexican with a name like Rosario. Like,
This tall girl. She was actually kind of hot. She used to make fun of me because I didn't know English.
maybe she was
Fucked
flirting with
up.
you.
No, she wasn't flirting with me. Yeah, no, she wasn't.
That's not how it works.
It's not.
That's not how it works at all.
That's not how it works.
But
We've been playing catch up, you know, as first generation Mexicans. You know, like our parents came here to start the foundation of okay, let's bring my kids here, bring the family here, and their job is to provide, and then it's on us as the first generation kids and all that to figure everything else out.
fuck.
Yeah, because I know I wasn't the only one that. ¿Qué dice aquí? You know, you're
Oh,
reading to
yeah,
it in English.
bro.
¿Para qué vas a la escuela si no sabes?
I was a translator in second
yeah,
grade.
yeah,
You know what I'm
bro.
saying? Certified.
I was
Yeah.
thinking, me llevaban a los lugares, hey, a ver, vamos para acá. You can translate this paper.
I remember I used to get so like frustrated and mad because couldn't translate it. I was like, "Fuck, why don't you know?" And then when you get older, I was like, "Damn!" Just think about how they felt having to ask their first grade kid, you know, to do something for them because they que no sabían.
Did you guys ever have to translate your parent-teacher conferences?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
'Cause I had to do that shit.
Yeah, I did it for
Dime
a
lo
little
que te
bit.
dice. Tell me what she says. And I'm like,
Haciendo bien.
yeah, she says I'm doing great.
Until they learned English.
Until I
and then-
learned English, yeah, probably
and
around
that
like,
went, started going, and I was like, damn it.
Yeah.
Actually, for on that side, I was really fortunate because my mom always went to our parent-teacher conferences. All the time. Honestly, shout out to my mom. I think if it wasn't for
what's
her, I honestly don't think I would have graduated high school.
Hey, shout out to your mom.
Cause
That's dope.
Bro, that was important because back, yeah.
There was a bunch of times that I was like, yo, I straight up in high school, like, I think my experience, like, I didn't feel welcome at all. Like, the high school experience for me outside of, like, soccer and, like, these guys, like, well, it was very much like a, fuck, I don't want to be here. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so it's like, there was a couple times where I was, like, trying to get out and trying to do, what was that? The spot
school?
the alternative school. I feel like all you motherfuckers ended up going over
Yeah,
there.
we did. What was the fucking called?
I don't remember. Whatever the alternative school
Yeah.
name was, if we think of it, it'll come
Chelan?
up. In Chelan.
Oh, you guys had a church school?
yeah.
That's you go there. And you only go to school for like 4 hours.
Like,
3
yeah, it
hours.
was like 3-4 hours. It sounded
That's
dope.
sounded dope.
And I could still play soccer. Like,
Yeah.
and so
And
it
they
was just
still
like,
let us play soccer and everything. We're like, heck yeah.
Cause like I remember in high school, like that was, bro, I kept my grades up so I could play soccer. That was like the highlight of the
Of your whole experience?
of the experience. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I wanted to leave and I wanted to go to that alternative school because like I didn't feel welcome. I didn't feel comfortable. I wanted to get out of there.
But you had good grades.
I had good enough grades. They weren't great, but they were good enough.
Yeah.
Right? They weren't because I was all over the place. I had some A's, I had some C's, I had some B's. I think I failed a class or two here. Like I think my sophomore year I failed a class. But my mom was like, "Nah, like I'm not gonna let you do that. Like I'm gonna
You're staying your
you're staying your ass in there, you know." Like, and I'm like, "Yo, listen, like I could be done, but like midday, like I can still play soccer. Like all my friends are there. Like, like you know, fuck these other kids at school and shit." And they're like, "Nah, fucking, you don't want to end up like your friends. Fucking, you don't want to end up like Jose, bro. That was
You don't want to end up like Jose.
You don't want to end up like Jose."
Shit. Did you guys ever feel seen? Like with growing up in Chelan?
Seen or like
Seen like seen, heard like, hey, they're acknowledging me.
for doing get in trouble.
Seen for the wrong reasons.
Every time something happened, like I would be like the first one to get called into the office all the time.
All the time.
No bullshit.
All
Every
the time.
something
Even if he had
happened.
nothing to do with it.
Because sometimes you did.
What happened?
Sometimes he did. Sometimes he did.
Okay.
Let's be fair here.
Well, sometimes. But sometimes that wasn't me, and I'd be like, I don't know, that wasn't me.
That's right. I had that
It'd be
with
some
Mr.
other Jose, but like automatically it'd be like.
I had me and E-Man had that in Leavenworth too in high school with Mr. Merkley. He was the assistant principal. Fucking did not like us.
Oh, yeah.
Thought we were a gang because it was always the same motherfuckers kicking it. We all dressed baggy and shit. High school.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking. I remember, and nunca se me va a olvidar esto. I went to Walmart and they used to sell like those sweaters, hoodies that. With the shirts that the sleeves that we got the zip up on them, you can take them off. It was black.
Did you have the pants too?
I had the pants too, bro.
Me too.
They were like $15 is what we could afford, you know.
Wow.
At that point, my parents were divorced, and like I had to buy my own shit, you know. But it was all black, and it had an 8 on it, a baby blue 8. And I'm like, dude, that shit just looks fly. It's at Walmart, so I would rock it. Got in trouble, and they wanted to suspend me because it was gang related. And I was like. I got called to the office like, why is this gang related? It's like, it's an 8. I know what it is. I was like, it's from Walmart. I was like, I could get so frustrated. It's like, no, you guys got your own gang, and that's an 8. I was like,
We know
no.
the numbers.
And I was just like, no. I'm like, I know the gangs, and 8, it's not a gang. Like, if it had a 1 in front of it.
Listen, you don't know shit.
And look at it. I told him if it had 1 in front of it, if it was a 13, I get it. It's an 8. And that's why I bought this one because it's not gang related.
It's a Kobe jersey, yo.
In Chelan, fuck, everything was gang related. We couldn't wear
rosaries.
We couldn't wear gloves.
Yo, a little context though. Our senior year, we got a new principal. He and I remember vividly because like we had some shit that happened. We got a new principal, Tim Barrett. Yeah,
I remember that.
We got a new principal. Something came in. Some police officer came in and had a conversation with him. Like literally brought like a list of things that were like, according to him, gang related, right? Mm-hmm. And so some of the things that this guy was mentioning, the rosaries, I think like even black long
gloves,
white tees, the black gloves,
Not the white tees.
a bunch of jersey numbers.
Well, anyway, I got suspended before I had when I came back, and then I came back, and they had barely started with the whole rosary thing. Like, oh, you can't wear a rosary because it's gang related. First day I show up, right, from suspension, I come and show up with my rosary. The teacher's like, "Son, Jose, you can't have that rosary." And I'm like, "Why?" They're like, "It's gang related and and it's new rules." And I was like, "I ain't taking it off." Boom, straight to the office again. I was like, "Damn it!"
On your first day back.
The first day back, and then
Because they changed
first
the rules.
class.
They started changing
out
the
of
rules.
nowhere, dude.
Bro, it was shit that we were wearing all the time, bro. I had a collection of like rosaries because like with the white tee, bro, it looked fresh as fuck.
Yeah,
And then I remember we had that meeting with the padre, and then we're up there in the library, and he's like, the padre's talking to us, and you know, he's like, oh, and then he looks at me, he's like, ¿Y tú por qué te pones el rosario? And I'm like,
oh shit.
Because somebody gave it to me, and he's like, well, you know you're not supposed to have it on. It's, you know, and I'm just like, oh, damn it. Straight called me out in front of everybody.
That was going to be my next question.
I was like, damn it. I was like, well, my bad. I just, you know, I wear it because, for protection, you know. And
you think
like,
it's more of a, like you said, it looks dope as fuck. You know?
Yeah.
You think it's less about religion, more about, you know, fucking culture, or tu abuelita te lo dio, or it's a loved one.
I think of both. But, I mean, it just depends. Because, I mean, like, this one I wear all the time. All the time. Never take it off. because it was a present, you know, and so, but I do have fancy ones that I like wearing de vez en cuando, you know, and those are like more like, you know, fashion, I guess.
Yeah, because I'm not very religious myself. Like I have my own
because
on religion and all that, but like I have a rosary, and the only reason I have it, I have two. Uno me dio mi abuelita y uno me dio mi abuelito.
Yeah.
You know, so to me it's more an emotional attachment, and I feel safer with the one that my grandma gave me.
Yeah.
Because she used to fucking pray for me all the fucking time. Me daba la bendición. She's no longer here, so I was like, this is the only way I'm gonna make it through life right now, you know?
Yo, abuelita prayers will hold you down, bro.
Yeah, it's very strong.
Abuelita prayers will hold you down, straight up. I think it was like, I think for us, and I think for a lot of us, it was like the fact that we were already wearing it, and like it was part of like the style or whatever.
Identity.
And then right off the bat, they're gonna be like, not only can you not wear it, you're now a gang member and a criminal by wearing it. And so it was funny when this guy got suspended. It was funny because there was like, I don't remember if it was when he got suspended or when Luis Fernandez got suspended, but like a bunch of people wore rosaries like the next day, and basically it was like, yo, are you gonna suspend all of us?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like that's literally how it went down. That's how it went down because like they were trying to like single people out, and cell phones had not been around for that long. But if enough of us were able to like text each other and hit each other up, where it was just like everybody wore that shit like the next day.
When everybody used to forward those messages on your texts.
The next cells.
With the little music and everything.
But that's fucking dope.
So that was cool as fuck, and it happened so quick. Immobilized with the fucking quickness.
True. Hella quick. We got the padre there the next day, fucking.
Bro, it was crazy because like
newspaper,
bro. Salimos en el pinche paper. You can fucking Google that shit.
I'll fucking do it. Yeah.
Put the article up. I have it in my folder somewhere in my computer. Te lo mando si quieres. It was crazy because they were trying to ban all sorts of shit, bro. Because en esos entonces like BLP andaba rifando too in Chelan and in Wenatchee and stuff, and like they were using like the owl. They were using the owls. And so like even the owls on shit that they were banning.
Owls.
Bro, I had the Tootsie Roll owl on a t-shirt. Bro, I swear to God, I had the Tootsie Roll owl on a t-shirt, and a teacher me la cagó.
Wow.
Me la cagó a fucking teacher, and that was like right before we had one of those meetings, and I remember I brought up and I'm like, yo, like, you know your FFA logo? Like, it's got a fucking owl on it. You know what I'm saying? Shit. And they're just like, well, it's not the same. And I'm like, yeah, fuck you. Like, it is the same.
You can't just
you can't. You can't nitpick and pick and choose rules.
Pick which ones you want. Which owl is that one? Well, no.
Yeah, bro, it was so silly. Like straight up just being like, okay, all of you like all of you Mexican kids, like we're gonna peg you as gang members. We're gonna peg you as criminals, and we're gonna start putting like things on your record like already and getting used to like getting you in trouble like in situation like with this guy like the
taking away by cops and shit
like taking away by cops, bro, like the prison the school to prison pipeline's like a real ass fucking thing, like where they start to get you used to like like going to suspension and being expelled, and then eventually it's like having police officers take you, and it's like that experience shouldn't be happening to a fucking kid in high school. Like a kid in high school, especially like non-dangerous kids, like pero like at our high school specifically too, like there was always a cop hovering like around like where the Mexican boys sat. Like there was always a cop in our lunchroom, and specifically like honestly more often than not he was chilling over by our table just fucking listening in or just fucking being like little all security and shit, standing up on the wall just kind of like looking over to what the fuck we were doing. Like there is also like that Chicano experience of like being treated like a little malandrin, a little fucking criminal and shit too, you know, because it's like
looked at like luego like never give you even a chance to
prove
yourself.
That you're not dead. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I always felt good about when I got to meet teachers a little bit more, and they would be like, "Oh, it's actually a pretty cool guy. He's not a dick."
Well, they see a cover and they go off of that, right? They see a stereotype.
I mean, we just see me luego, oh no, este güey.
We got lucky down in Leavenworth because we went to an alternative school también. That was at the fish hatchery, and we were fucking doing our stupid shit too, fucking tagging, fucking all over. tagging.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. You know what I'm saying? Smoking weed and all that before school and all that. So like, we had a cop there. His name was Officer Johnson, but dude, like we got lucky. He was cool as hell. Like he actually talked to us. Yeah. You know, he didn't just fucking judge us, and he let me slide a lot of times when I got my permit. And you know you're only supposed to drive with family members. And yeah. I had a couple homies that white boys and shit, cool as fuck. I was trying to get, I got pulled over. I asked my cousin. My cousin, damn, why ain't your cousin named Daniel Carp? Shout out to my boy Daniel Carp. But he let me slide so many times that at Ultimo, like, I kept pushing it, and then I started getting in trouble. But I was like, all right, that's fair enough. Like, I earned that one. But, like, I thought it was cool that at least he became friends. Like, his approach wasn't, like, try to fucking overhear shit and just fucking try to treat us like shit. He actually talked to us, which I thought was, like, really important. Because yeah, he's a cop, but at the same time, I was like, he's there doing his job, and he's talking to me like he respects me. You know, and respect goes a long ways.
No, it does. No, porque... I mean, fuck.
This guy's like, that wasn't my experience.
No. I got too much. No, yeah.
Do you think, like, how did that experience mold you, like, going forward in life?
Which one?
Like, all that. Like, just all those experiences that you had in high school where, you know, being looked down on, being treated like you're a criminal, a gang member. Like, seeing what's wrong with everything. Like, how did that mold you?
Honestly, I think it made me really angry. I feel like it's really taken like a lot of work as an adult, like now, to like kind of chill out a little bit. But I think it made me for a long time like really angry. I think I didn't know what the fuck I was angry at for a long time. Mm-hmm. But I was like really fortunate in school to study certain things, especially like study the conditions of my life, not only like in the education system, but like in society as like a Mexican American first generation male, you know, and like what that looked like. And I think I started really being able to pinpoint in what parts of society I was like angry at. And I feel like once I started figuring that a little bit of that shit out, I was able to I mean, not to say that I'm not angry anymore, because I feel like I'm still angry at a lot of things, but I'm a lot more like level-headed and a lot more peaceful.
You make more sense of everything.
I can make more sense of it. It's like I didn't understand at the time why things didn't make sense, or why we were being treated like criminals, or like why like I saw my homie on the bus from the like getting dragged off out of the bus. getting dragged off of a soccer bus, having his head slammed on a police car and thrown in a police car, like that didn't make sense to me, right? And but I remember being really angry at those situations. That like I remember being angry at like the officer. I remember being angry at the school. I remember being angry at like our coaches. And like really thinking about like,
especially when the coach had told me go to the bus, nothing's gonna happen to you.
like thinking about like, you know, like where were the people that were supposed to like be there for us,
protect
right? Like where were the adults and like these people that were supposed to protect us, the way that like if we looked a little bit different, like the way that they would have actually protected us, right? Because like I remember like these very first experiences of back then, when it's like I still remember that we were the sports that often had the police officers present, right? Yeah.
The sports that never got help.
The sport,
for the uniforms neither.
Like budgets,
we always had
budgets and stuff
to get our uniforms.
We were fundraising for our own stuff.
We
stuff
that basketball or football.
Stuff that was 3 or 4 years old. I mean, there's definitely been some changes. Not to say that like these schools aren't doing well, but it's like at the time, it was obviously different in the way that we were approached. Mm-hmm. And I think even if you don't fully understand it, like at the time, like there's a certain level of anger there that it's just like, yo, like why is this different, right? Or like why does this not, like why do I not feel welcome here? Or like why are you making me like seem this way? Shit, me and this guy got fucking pulled out of this guy's car at gunpoint with a couple of other friends when we were joyriding in La Huerta.
In an orchard.
We were joyriding in his dad's Huerta, private property, right? And,
that was just funny.
And yo, there was, bro, like,
I don't know where the fuck like 6 fucking
It was Memorial Day weekend.
Oh yeah, it was Memorial Day weekend.
It was Memorial Day weekend. So there was helicopters in Chelan, like that's already a thing. Within a few minutes, like surrounded by police officers, getting pulled out of our cars, out of the car at gunpoint. Little pinche carrillo, shout out to the white Ford Festiva that we tried to mod when we were fucking kids.
Put your hands up, and we're like. We say, put your hands up. That's all it goes. Like it's like a chicarrito, like dude, like that's all it goes.
And it was funny at the time, bro. Like I remember we would laugh it off. We would tell each other the story, like nos daba risa, way. You know what I'm saying? But like now as an adult, like yo, like that wasn't funny. That's not funny at all.
One of us nos hubiéramos movido, or
you know what I'm saying?
Or
like,
one of us would be like, nah, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Fucking tas, like, you know, we never thought about that kind of shit, bro. Now.
So like when you ask me like how I feel, I was angry at the time, and I don't think I had the capacity to understand, or anyone to have the conversations with, to understand what I was angry at, you know. But like those were, I think, fairly common experiences, at least in the people that like we were hanging out with. You know what I'm saying? A couple generations above, también, like thinking about like the people that like weren't graduating high school. You know what I'm saying? Like getting into other shit, like when the community around you criminalizes you, then a lot of the times you end up heading more and more in that direction.
The wrong direction, and it's normal.
And it's normal, and then you're like, you know, being pointed at as this like shitty like this, like it's the, you know, a troublemaker, right? So not only are you now criminalized, you're a troublemaker, and then you get into like stuck into like this little cycle of like troublemaker, criminal, and fucking where it's like pointing at you and shit.
Keep making you do the same
without understanding why it's like that. Which you know, like you said, you because you went to college, right? And
I mean, I dropped out like 6 times first, but eventually, yeah.
Well, yeah, but you still went, yeah.
Yeah.
And because you were saying that you took a lot of classes too that kind of help process everything.
Yeah, I think it helped a lot, to be honest.
Learn more about it and
cultural, like education classes, cultural classes,
different perspectives,
different perspectives on things, sociology things, classes on race, right? Like there's so much like the topics and conversation there that like the people don't want to have today because it's hard. It's complicated. It's hard, right? They're hard conversations, but in
hard words to say.
But I was fortunate to have classes available in order to have those conversations and understand those conversations a little bit better.
Well, that's true.
That's dope. Yeah, because like you said, if more people just sat down and talked about shit from opposing views, like I'm a big believer in that. You can have opposing views. If you sit down and fucking talk, like you'll understand why they think that way. And a lot of times, more than that, sometimes you have a lot in common too. Yeah. But la gente no se da la oportunidad to talk, you know.
If they're not starving as hell.
yeah. You got to go in open-minded. You can't just go in like my point of view is the only point of view that's important.
Because I've been with people that I'm just like, you know, when they can't see that view, you're just like. All right.
I think I have a
You're
hard
right.
time. Yeah. I think I have a hard time when it's like my view and your view like are opposing, but the things that you believe put me in danger. Right? Like the things that I'm telling you are like my life story or like my perspective, but the things that you believe like legit put me in danger. Like I'm not interested in having that dialogue or that conversation. Because like you're arguing for your point of view versus I'm arguing for my life.
Solid point.
You know what I'm saying? So like I'm not like I think I'm at a point in my life where I'm no longer interested in that dialogue. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to the people that have that capacity and that space to have those conversations and have those with that dialogue. But if the things that you believe are hateful, are dangerous, are violent, like are okay with certain types of violence on me, my people, or the people that look like me, like I'm, you know, keep that shit over there. You know what I'm saying?
I totally
like keep that shit way the fuck over there. You know, like
that's how I feel.
Argue with your mama. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's just not a.
Yeah, you can't agree with something that hurts me or my family because then that's
not a.
But I don't want him to hurt you.
I hate that shit. I always hate that shit. It's like, no, fuck illegals, fucking all that. And
But
I'm
you're
like,
cool, though.
I'm like, but
you're
you,
cool.
you know, I'm undocumented. I'm illegal, right? It's like, no, but not you. Everyone else,
The
I was
other
like,
ones.
no, we're all the fucking same, bro. Like,
Yeah, don't
yeah,
fucking say that.
I've had family members tell me that shit, and I've had to fucking. I love them to death though. Like we've had those conversations. Like that's why I bring it up because they had opposing views, and I'm like, look, but you understand that with your point of view puts me in the fact that they're gonna fucking deport me or I'm gonna fucking get shot, this and that. Like, and you're okay with that, but you still welcome me to your house. Like, let's have that conversation. Why? And you know, you give them enough facts and they're actually open minded. Like, you kind of help change their point of view, like, or at least not even just change it, but they understand like, oh, shit, maybe I should think twice before I say that shit because it's gonna hurt someone that I love, you know. So
And that's what I'm saying. Like, shout out to the people like you that have that energy to like have those conversations with those people. I'm at a point in my life where like,
you don't even want to have that.
like I don't even want to have that conversation.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all can be way the fuck over there. Y'all can stay way the fuck over there. Like, argue with your mama. Hopefully, you get a GU in your life someday that will help walk you through or give you those point of views to change your mind. But like, I just don't even want to.
No, yeah, I feel you on that.
Like, I'm just like, yo.
Like, I guess like sometimes there's people that you just can't get through them. So.
And I'm not gonna, it's fucking draining too. Like
it is. Then that's why. Like for me, like
it's draining.
that's why.
Like you gotta, like I'm big on protecting my own peace. You know, there's times where I could have this and that, and I'm like, okay, I'm like not even gonna bother. Like I'm in a good space. I'm not gonna ruin that shit by talking to you. And other times it's like, well, let's fucking sit down. It's got to be, you know, like the right time for it and all that shit. You
like,
know,
I'm gonna have to. Am I gonna have to fight you right now?
Yeah, no, for real. Like, there's some times, like, there's been times where I can sit down and just have it with a complete stranger, opposing views at a fucking bar, and I've had that before, and it's dope. Like, because we both walk away, like, okay, I understand why he thinks that way. He understands why I think that way, and we walk away, like, cool. There's been other times that it's been a coworker that I see on a daily basis, and I had this conversation, and all I want to do is, let me fucking knock you out right now. Let me prove you right. You know?
Hey, Trump had me wanting to knock a lot of people out. All right?
yeah, it was around that time, too, so I was also very fucking angry.
Hey. Yeah,
but we could talk about that all fucking day.
For real.
One thing that me and Santos were talking about, too, that, I mean, obviously we got these apples here. I mean, there's more to your story than just growing up. And it is part of your story, too. But, like, now you're the apple guy.
Oh, good man.
It doesn't.
Never stop, never stop, stop.